What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Club football is back this week. Thank you, thank you. But you know what? This has been a nice little break. And listen, shout out to everyone that took part in the top 5 players so far. I thought that was very interesting. Some of the answers coming back were pretty interesting as well. Very good for everyone that took part in that one. If you want to see it, it's the video before this one. So go back on the channel if you haven't seen it already. As you're coming in or as you're watching replay, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and drop your comments below. Let's have a look. Michael M is saying, afternoon, KG. Adams, Gnonto are concerns for sure, but the big one is Max for me. We need him. And Danny also echoes that in saying Wöber is the biggest miss. Yeah, I mean, there's no competitions here. They're 3 absolute starters for us. They're 3 key players. So all players, all 3 of those guys, if they're out, are going to be misses in their own right. Whether it's for different reasons, Gnonto for his attack, Adams for various reasons, and I'll get into it now. Wöber for his leadership at the back and the way that he's brought the defense together. It's all equal. You know, all this, someone's the biggest miss or whatever it is. They're all 3 are key players to me. So they're all going to be misses. But hopefully with 2 of them, it's not so long term. Maybe they only miss 1 game, hopefully, and then they're back for the 2 crunch games. But we're just going to have to wait and see. We'll see what Javi Gracia says in the press conference. And we'll go from there. Jacob Smith saying, at least we've seen recently that Rucker and McKennie can be effective. We have. This is a comment that I've seen a few times, by the way. Dr. Caruso here. We need Wöber and Gnonto. Did okay without Adams. Could do with all 3 really for the run-in. Along those lines of, we beat Wolves without Adams, so we'll be okay. I mean, without being disrespectful, that is such like surface level thinking, in that just because we won 1 game without him, that we're going to be all right for the remaining 11. I think it's being quite disrespectful for the role that he's played so far overall this season as well, where he has been the linchpin in the middle. He has been leading by example, and he's done all the good stuff there. He breaks up play more often than not, and you know, just to say, because we beat Wolves, I know that the wins have been very sparse this season, so it's easy to say that 1 game is probably the outlier. But I think overall, Adams' contribution can't be really understated, and it is a big blow that he's going to be missing. But Javi Gracia, I'm sure that he'll be aware of this, and he will plan for something, and that's what gives me a little bit of comfort in this. That's one thing that gives me comfort. What else is people saying? Let's have a look. Oh, RP, just when things were rosier. It's Leeds, isn't it? You know, we get Cine and Rodrigo back with 1 hand, and then we get Adams and Willie took away with another. It's the Leeds way, I'm afraid. And yeah, Gavin here saying, not a lot we can do, opportunity for others. And this is it as well, Gavin. Let me just say as well, in regards to Adams, it's he's going to be getting surgery on a hamstring injury. And for me, that sounds like it's end of the season stuff. It doesn't sound like you'll be back from that. I know there's been advances in medicine, you know, over the years, but it sounds like that could be a season-ending injury. Hopefully not, but if he's not going to be fit, wouldn't risk it, because the hamstring, you snap that, that's done. You've seen how it's affected other players' career. I mean, think of Michael Owen being one big example. He actually snapped it at Ellen Road, if you remember, if you were, you know, old enough to remember that. So we've got to take precautions with that. With Tyler Adams being out, though, let me just ask you, can everyone see me okay? Yeah, just checking in the live chat now. Can everyone see me okay? Yeah, just say yes if you can. Callum Noah is just saying, concerning was on a high after Wolves, but this is telling you that, Callum, it's never easy being a Leeds fan. Yeah, thank you. Just thank you, because StreamYard isn't putting a number up, so is what it is. I was still talk. But with Adams as well, in terms of what he does in the team, we don't have another one. So it's going to have to be a change of tactic, a change of formation, maybe. But I'm okay with that with Javi Gracia, because he isn't somebody who will then and this is without being disrespectful, he won't then try and just chuck in Sam Greenwood in the defensive midfield area and hope for the best. I think that he'll assess all the options that we've got. He'll probably start with Rucker and McKennie, and that to me is fine. And that's another plus, by the way. Dr. Karras, yes, sadly, tremendous. I love that. That's a good thing for me because if you think back to when we had a Calvin Phillips out, we'd be wondering what Jamie Shackleton can do for us. We'd be saying, "Oh, I wonder what he can do." Hey, how's Lewis Bate doing? This time we've got two ready-made players already coming in, and then it's about supplementing them with JB and Archie Gray. Doesn't sound ideal for a lot of people, but these are high-end talent players. And with JB as well, it's quite noticeable that he is too good for the under 21 level. It's about to see, we're going to have to see now if he can step up to the Premier League. Big step up, but we got to give him the opportunity. I try not to think of Lavia at Southampton because they both came from Man City and made similar moves to lower end clubs in Southampton and Leeds, respectively. But Lavia has taken that advantage of his opportunity at Southampton, and he's been linked with big money moves in the summer. JB probably is not at that level, but there is a way that he can showcase his talent. We've already seen him in the cup games. He's always trying to get on the ball. Even if he makes a mistake, he'll try and look for the ball again. That's what we need. We need people that aren't going to shy away. And that's another thing that Tyler Adams also will be missing from him, by the way. His compete level, which is not really, it's kind of unmatched within the squad as well. So there's going to be opportunities here for other people to step in. We know that we're going to have to use one of these midfielders, by the way, because Rucker can never complete 90 minutes. So unless he's like got a new oxygen tank or whatever it is that he needs to complete 90 minutes, we're going to have to use some options in that midfield. Don J saying injuries to key players at the worst possible moments are really characterizing this season. Yeah. Jacob is saying JB looks like he can pull a big pass out of nowhere. Yeah, that's it. He has got that in the locker. Obviously, it's going to be different at Premier League level, but we're going to have to give him a try. We're going to have to with Tyler out. It's going to have to be next man up kind of thing. And I look at Weston McKennie, and people can criticize the opposition that USA play, but England also play San Marino and all these Andorras, year in year out as well. But Weston McKennie was scoring goals. He was providing goals for the USA. And I was just, when he was scoring the goals, I was thinking, please, Weston, give us some of that. Shoot when you're playing for Leeds, please. Because I think that he's going to score a goal before the season's out. I'm certain of it. And if we're using Rucker, say, as like a deep line playmaker, and McKennie can do his thing, I think it can work. I think it could work. What are people saying in regards to that, people? Let me know. Ishtar saying give JB a show. Yeah, give him a chance. Why not? Tony T saying JB's the man, very mobile. Yeah, and also as well, let's not forget Archie Gray as well, who is more of an unknown quantity. We've only seen spurts of him, but the options aren't. No one's going to replace Tyler Adams. Let's just get that out of the way. But there are players that can step up in their absence. Gavin saying McKennie has a fever. Apparently, yeah, he's been playing with the illness, a flu, I think. So yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's absolutely fine. And Keith is he must have read my notes. He must have read my notes. Keith saying, would you not put Wöber at CDM and Strike at centre back for Arsenal if fit to try that out? Keith, you stole my notes. I'm not impressed. But yeah, this is another thing. When you've got unfortunate injuries, you have to make moves around. And as good as the Koch and Wöber partnership has been, if we have to move Wöber up and put Strike at centre back for the time being, maybe that's something we can do. That's what I'm saying. There are different options that we can play with here. Oh no, Tony T. Let's not. Uh, yeah, give him some Calpol. Yeah, McKennie, get some Calpol down your throat. Jacob saying, I don't really expect Archie to see Archie unless we have another injury, but we know there's quality there. Yeah, you can imagine he's probably down the depth chart, but he's there, isn't he? He's a high end talent, very highly thought of. And if we have to use him at some point, let's use him. That's what I say. You know me. It doesn't matter about ages for me. If they're old enough, they're good enough. That's the thing for me. Doesn't matter about the ages. Yes, we're in a hell of a relegation battle, but it's next man up now. Next man up. Danny saying everyone writing the game off against Arsenal, but we say, yeah, we'll preview the Arsenal game after the press conference. I believe that'll probably be Thursday, as the game is Saturday at 3 p.m. So come back to the channel, hit the notification bell, and join me for that show as well. And we'll go through the Arsenal game there. But yeah, yeah, it's just unfortunate. And then we move on from Tyler Adams, or keep him in this, but Gnonto and Wöber also hurt on international duty. Gnonto, Mancini was talking about it could be a little sprain. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just not ideal. I mean, three of my five, by the way, three of my five top performers this season just struggling with injuries. It's the Leeds United way, isn't it? Absolutely, just the Leeds United way. But hopefully, I mean, Wöber, I mean, wasn't it one time that his shoulder was almost hanging off the thread and he come back next week? I just think that he might duct tape it up and come back. I think he might just do that, but we've just got to wait and see. I think Gracia will give us more news on Nanto and Wöber on Thursday. You'd hope. I know he keeps his cards close to his chest, but these are pretty well known injuries in that they've been on international duty. So hopefully, we'll get a bit of news there. Danny saying I'd go five at the back if Wöber's out. Yeah, yeah. Ashley saying so gutted KG just as we're getting back to full strength. Yeah, Ashley, it happens all the time. No, Ashley, it happens every single time. We get sinister about Rodrigo. Looks like he's been training well. Brilliant. Can't wait to see Rodrigo starting games again. Never thought I'd say that last year. Never thought I'd say that last year. But then we always get somebody out, don't we? It just happens all the time. But these are things that we have to deal with. These are things that we just have to get on with now and see how we get on with it for the remaining 11 games. Huge 11 games coming up. I can't. I just want to be out of this scrap. I can't. I can't lie to you. I just want to be out of this relegation scrap. Jacob saying, I'd rather not risk them for Arsenal and make sure they're fit for the big games at home. Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with that one. I'm not saying that the Arsenal is a write off, by the way. I'm just thinking that those two home games, I just see 6 points. I can't imagine losing one of those two games. And it's vital that we have every key player that we've possibly got fit and healthy. And if it means leaving them out for the game on Saturday, I'm inclined to do that too. That's just my opinion, though. Nanto is strong and will bounce back. We'll see. We'll see what he's got. But you've seen him. I mean, you saw him in that little cameo against England. Just how important he was. Even Italy were doing the thing of give him the ball and see how they get on. He's that good. He's that good. He's that important to us. And there's not many players down our end of the table that are as good as him in terms of giving you goals, assists, and creating space. So it will be interesting to see how long he's going to be out. Hopefully, not too long. McAllister saying McKennie and Rucker will have to step up massively now. We can still do this, but that much harder now. Yeah, they of course they can. They showed against Wolves that they can do it, but now it's about doing it on a consistent basis and how fit can we keep them both. Both were a little bit sketchy with their injury histories, if you want to say that. But Rucker in particular doesn't seem to get past 75 minutes too often. But yes, absolutely, McAllister. They have to step up, and that's what you've got though. When you've got two players of that quality to step in when you've got a key injury out, this is what we've been begging for. We hoped it wouldn't be Tyler Adams to be one of the injuries, if we're being honest, but it is. But look at that, Rucker and McKennie to start. You don't feel too badly about that, do you? Well, actually, some people really don't like Rucker, as I saw in the comments on the top five. So yeah, but yeah, in general, you don't feel too bad about that. Uh, Michael saying, time for all players to step up and for Gracia to show his game management skills. I believe he will, Michael. I'd be very, very surprised if he hasn't got a new plan for this. You know, again, not being horrible to our previous two coaches, obviously not, especially the first one, the former one, but they were very much plan A and make sure plan A works. We've already seen Gracia change the thing from the start to end game, half time, 60 minutes. He'll change it around in no, to the game's speed and the game's tactics. So that's what gives me a little bit more faith in Gracia having a backup plan in terms of these kind of injuries going out. That's just me though. How do you feel in regards to that? In regards to our manager, let me know. Yeah, I mean, Deshaun, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Much better than Forshaw and Shackleton. I mean, we're on our knees. We are absolutely on our knees. Oh, who should play? Should it be Shackleton, Forshaw? I mean, oy, 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 oy. God. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Donjay saying, imagine we never signed McKennie, it would be grim right now. Yeah, it would. It would definitely be, we'd be in a worse position than we are now, 100%. But that's where you got to give them a bit of credit. They did get the deal done in the end. You know, we thought it was going to be a permanent from the start. It's a loan to permanent, but they got the deal done. I think they knew how important it was going to be and that we just can't rely on guys like Adam Forshaw. I mean, it's pretty obvious anyway. But yeah, full credit to him for getting that one done because we will definitely need him now. Danny here, Gracia has a plan for every team. That's why I'm not counting out a result against Arsenal. Yeah. I mean, just on the cold, I just talked about surface level thinking earlier. When you look at what Arsenal have done over the season, it's very hard to see us go in there and getting a win, but it's not impossible. We've seen teams take them to the very limit. I mean, Bournemouth just did it a few weeks ago, didn't they? Until like the 97th minute, was it? So it's not impossible. There's no game impossible. That's why I always say there's no such thing as free hits. You've seen us. We've gone to Man United and got a 2-2 draw. Southampton have gone to Man United and got a 0-0 draw. We've beaten Liverpool away. There's no such thing as a free hit. If it was that obvious, if everything was that telegraph, we could all go to a betting shop and become millionaires, right? But we can't because it's not that obvious, is it? So yeah, I'm not writing it off, but we'll get into score predictions on Thursday. 100%. 100%. But yeah, we just got to keep an eye on this and see how we get on. Just so many things in terms of things that we're missing from all three players. Just different characteristics that we need on the pitch are going to be missing if they're missing a certain amount of time. But hopefully, fingers crossed for the latter two, they're back next week. That's the main thing. Jacob just asking if Arsenal have picked up any injuries. Thomas Partey is doubtful, but I think I read somewhere that he is going to play, but he's the one that's currently doubtful. Wouldn't be bad if Saka just picked up a little something before the game. Wouldn't mind that. Saka, he's on fire, man. Fire, really, really good player. Oh man, but yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm just talking about. Yeah, I talked about McKennie's international performances. Bring those goals and assists to the Prem, please. Now, listen, Illan Meslier was talking as well, as always happens in the international breaks, and he was talking in regards to his future, the France team, and everything else like that. And just quickly on the France team, he's disappointed that he's not in there, but I don't see Illan Meslier getting the first spot. I think Manyan's got that locked down. That's the AC Milan goalkeeper for anyone that doesn't know who he is. Super goalkeeper, absolute top drawer goalkeeper. And I think he is now the successor to Hugo Lloris. But there is a chance that he could get into the France team if he plays better. They've got Areola, they've got Samba, who I rate quite highly, by the way. Samba, I was looking forward to see him playing for Forest in the Premier League, but he moved on a free over to Lens in Ligue 1. But he was talking about how he needs to be better, and I think it's quite good by Illan to say this, because when I come on here and say that Illan has to be better at certain things, some people think that he's not up for criticism, but he clearly is. And even he knows that he has to be better, and he knows he hasn't had the best season. So he was talking about, you know, he needs to be better in general, and in terms of teams looking at him, or whatever it may be, which I know rubs some people the wrong way. But guys, if he's looking at playing for Champions League clubs, or those kind of teams, he's going to be talking like this. It's not disrespectful to Leeds United. It's just like when other players want to come here and they say, Leeds is a big club, I'd love to play for Leeds. Everyone always revels in that. But when it happens to us, it's like, no, you can't say that. But he's just saying what he feels. And in terms of the French team and his future, Illan knows that he has to get better. My question is to you guys in the chat now, and to people watching the video and the replay: is Illan Meslier irreplaceable to you? Let me know. Now, because in my top five, I had him in both the pluses and minuses, because that's the kind of season he's had this year. He's been brilliant for us in certain areas where he saved us points, but then others, he's kind of been at fault for points being lost. And there was even a period just before Jesse Marsh got sacked where I was thinking we need to stick Robles in goal. We need to put him in and give Illan a little break because the goals were going in were just so soft. And then you see the one like Coleman's for Everton. I mean, that killed us. You know, that we didn't get nothing out of that game, and that was a big reason. So let me know right now in regards to Millier. And did you find the comments disrespectful? Me personally, I don't. I don't find those kind of things disrespectful. He's just talking from the hip. Jack is saying better goalies than Millier around. There is, and you know what? For the price that we're possibly getting for Millier, because there's Spurs looking at him, apparently Chelsea are looking at him too. By the way, there's better goalkeepers around that we can get for a fraction of his price, a fraction. But he has to be replaced. I'm not saying put Robles as first choice. Not saying that one bit, but there are better goalkeepers around. And for me, Meslier is going to be a top goalkeeper, but I think it's going to be maybe 5 years' time, personally. So yeah, I mean that's just me though. Um, Gil is saying he's replaceable. Yeah, yeah, and this is right. Dr. Carusi is saying he is nowhere near reach his potential at his age. Not even close. I think goalkeeper's peak is probably what 27 to 32 in around those kind of ages. So he's nowhere near. You know, he's still got a lot of developing to do. By the way, I just feel like this season has been. He's kind of taken a little step back for me, and that's pretty tough because he's just reached that 100 appearances in the Prem. He should be kicking on, but I feel like he's kind of regressed a little. I you know he was brilliant against Wolves. Don't get me wrong, but then there's been other games where it goes in off his wrists, man. Like, have a stronger wrist. You know what I mean? Gavin Parry is saying Chelsea are daft enough to pay 50. Well, I mean, I'm thinking that he's probably going to go for 25 to 30. That's where I'm thinking. That's the ballpark figure I'm thinking. And you can get a better goalkeeper for 8 to 10 in reality. So for me, it would be a good deal, personally. Uh, Richard saying, want Melier gone, made too many mistakes in games. Yeah, I mean, Karen here saying room for improvement with Melier. He's only young. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Melier is still here next season, but I need him to iron out a few of the mistakes, though, because like Richard said, they have been coming, and you've seen it in games as well when we've been on top for 20 minutes or so, and then the first attack by the other team, they go down, they score. Yeah, you can't have that, really, can you? So, and Deshaun, yeah, Deshaun's right here. Would be more concerned if he didn't have the ambition to play at a higher level. Should always shoot for the moon. And if it's not going to happen at your current club where you're at, and again, we're in another relegation battle, people, you got to take that into consideration. Then yeah, he's going to be saying that if other bigger teams are going to look at him, he has to perform better. But I think it's good that he knows that he needs to be better. Yeah, Ishtar weak on the near post. It's happened quite a few times. Yep. Yet positioning for free kicks as well has been questionable. Oh man. Okay, let's get this out of the way, Peter. Thoughts on Calvin Links? No. No. And Calvin Phillips, I think he's already said that he's going to stay and fight for his place next season. So I don't. The thing is, what happens is I've heard mainstream media when they talk about Calvin Phillips because he's getting absolutely dogged, isn't he? You're hearing it all the time. He's played 56 minutes, or he played more for England the other day. He's not worthy of a place in the England team and things like that because of his lack of games. And they just think that, yeah, he's going to find himself back at Leeds. I've heard that a couple times where people just say he's going to find himself back at Leeds. But I mean, there's so many complications with that, by the way. Never mind if it's a permanent deal or loan, his wages have gone through the roof. So unless Man City are going to subsidize a big portion of that, I don't think a deal to Leeds is even possible. But for me, anyway, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at this stage. I think he's moved on. Leeds have moved on. We just leave it there. But the thing is, until he gets regular games at Man City, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. He's always going to get linked back to Leeds. Ishtar saying, "I don't want Calvin back." Yeah, it's not even a fact of not wanting him back as such. But I don't feel there's any benefit there. I think we've replaced him and replaced him well. So, he's moved on. He wants to go and win big trophies and all that stuff, keep his England profile up. He's done that now. Let him move on, and we've done the same. Gabe with a super chat. Thank you, Gabe. Oh, and also thank you to Mr. P for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. Gabe saying Adams' blow is huge, hoping Wes and Rocker can cook. Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it, Gabe? They've got to now form a partnership, hopefully injury free, suspension free, for the remaining 11 games, and we'll have more than a fighting chance. Adams, though, is a big blow for what he brings. He's a lead. He even holds the old guard accountable. You'll see him shout at Ailing and saying, "Why aren't you in your position?" See it many times, don't we? So, yeah, we'll miss that combativeness and leadership in the middle. Gavin saying, I think he's lost his England place now, also, but yeah. How does he get it though? I mean, I know that Southgate loves his Rice and Phillips double thing, but how do you leave out Bellingham? Bellingham, you can't. So, but listen, he's not our problem. This is the problem for me. He's not our problem anymore. He's not a Leeds player. He's moved on now. Just leave it in the past. I feel like this is going to be another one of these things where every transfer window, Calvin Phillips is going to come up. I can feel it already. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, listen, that is the news for now, people. Let me know in the comments in regards to the potential injuries, the Tyler Adams news, the Illan Meslier comments. If you're bothered about them, do you think he's replaceable? Do you think that Leeds will be crazy to sell him, or do you think that we should sell him and get in another goalkeeper? Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'll be back for the preview of the Arsenal game. Content is coming back again now, which is great. I have kind of missed doing this now, so it's good that we're coming back into the season, get these games played, and what is it? Confirm our survival. Yeah, confirm our status and survival. I hope. I hope. Listen, people, hit the likes, subscribe, drop your comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.